Hey guys, how you doing? Today I want to talk about retirement spending and how it actually looks because we hear a lot of like the phrase go go, slow go, no go or whatever through retirement, and I've never actually really used this phrase because I didn't really like the sounds of it for some reason. And I just actually never believed that there was such a thing as a no-go phase because I always thought, from anecdotal experience and just every sort of story and everything that I think about is like, well, what about potential healthcare costs late in retirement that cost an absolute fortune? And my granddad was a perfect example of this, where, he spent very little in sort of his early 80s, but then when health issues arise for him and my nana, then there was a whole bunch of extra expenses that went into taking care of their health and allowing them to stay in their home. So did spend a fortune more in his late retirement than he did in his early retirement. And there is sort of data to back this up. So I want to talk about what, sort of retirement spending looks like from a data perspective and how this actually compares to go, go, slow go, no go. So generally, I've always talked to people about the idea I love, if you can, to have a go go phase and spend that extra money in retirement and early retirement if you can, because we don't know how long we're going to live. I want you to enjoy your retirement. You didn't work for your entire lives to just sit at home and eat crackers and drink water, like I always talk about. And when you get older, you've already bought all the things that you need, and yeah, that sort of slow go phase makes sense too. You're just really not doing anything anymore other than going for walks and reading books, and even your vacations aren't that expensive because you're just staying, for 3 months in a rental place, and it's just one flight, and all you're doing is, hanging around. You're not going on ATV tours and getting on jet skis when you're 79 years old. So just sort of thought about that. But so instead of retirement looking like this, where it's like go go and it's going up with inflation, and then at 75 you drop down, $1,000 a month, and you don't need that anymore, and then at 85 you drop down another $1,000 a month. What it actually looks like is that you are just slowly decreasing your spending over time until about the age of 84, and that's when, typically these health issues are going to start coming back in. And then the data shows that by about your early 90s, you're going to be spending a little bit more than you were in even early retirement. So if you're not accounting for inflation, it's what they call a spending smile. So it goes down and then goes up. So in my example that I used when I ran this sort of through the software was somebody that wanted to spend $6,000 a month in retirement after tax from 65 until forever. Okay, well, that's, going to cost a whole lot of money by the time you get to like 84 years old. $6,000 in, that time is now closer to $9,000 per month that you're actually going to need, which is pretty hard to sustain. But in reality, what's happening is you're almost keeping it sort of level. Whereas, like, if you weren't accounting for inflation and you said what you're doing is you're going to be spending 74% of the maximum amount of money that you spent when you're 84 years old. So over those, 19 years, you're dropping by 26%. So basically 6,000 now turns into $4,444 per month that you're actually going to be spending. But compared to inflation, that's more like $6,595 per month. So you're just slowly increasing what you're spending over your like bottom line zero, which is $6,000 a month for 19 years, and then it starts to go up, as you can see in the graph that we're going to put on. So I do think it's like a little bit dangerous for you to say, I'm going to have a retirement that says go, go, slow go, no go, Because what you might do if you're trying to do that and you've convinced yourself that you want to die with zero is that you've kind of spent all your money, and then you get into this issue where now health issues arise and you don't actually have any money left. You might have to sell your house if you have one to fund these extra expenses. You might have to move out if you don't want to. Say, you are in good health, but your spouse isn't. You don't have that money. Then you might need to rely on the government to actually put you into a home, which is going to be maybe lower quality than you wanted. So I think you want to really think about the idea that you might have to spend a whole lot of extra money in your late retirement if you want to keep sort of your quality of life or have a good care system in place that's going to cost an absolute fortune. The data suggests that it doesn't work like go, go, slow go, no go. It's more like the spending smile, where you are going to have to actually start spending more if you do live into the later stages. Now, obviously, none of this matters if you pass away early. I do want you to enjoy your retirement, so the go-go phase is cool. You are probably going to spend less, but it's not like magically one day at 75 you're going to say, well, our budget used to be $6,000 a month and now it's only $4,000. Things don't really work like that. It's more like a slow, gradual decrease and then an increase, which makes a little bit more sense to me. So just some food for thought. You can certainly run this in a different retirement plan than you might have and say, what does this look like? Does this change how I want to structure my spending? Does this change our budget? Are we going to be prepared for these extra expenses if they arise? Just making sure that your retirement plan is stable no matter what your sort of spending habits are, because we don't really know what's going to happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So just a good idea to maybe re-up, check it again, see what's going on, and make sure that it works both ways. Anyway, if you learned something, please like and subscribe. If you hate this, please like and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, especially if you really disagree. And we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.